two, one, and record. And recording. Hi, good afternoon. It's Bradley Chapman, and welcome to Raw TV. Today we're going to be talking about your entrepreneurial journey, and we're joined by Laurence, Milton, and Dr. Kevin Roberts from Vert Business. Raw Business TV, as you know, is a webcast TV channel aimed at everyday people achieving extraordinary things. We're all chasing a dream, we're all building our businesses, and Raw TV is designed to give you help, advice and support in order to help you move your business forward. Every day we're striving towards success, every day we face challenges. Just a quick piece of information about Raw Business, as I normally do when I start out. Raw Business, we're an online business entrepreneur networking company. We've got thousands of members who are becoming more and more connected, just like you are now. We offer you a mixture of marketing, advertising and networking for your company, and we publish a leading inspirational business magazine called Raw Business, which some of you guys have registered and you read, whether it be online or you receive a printed edition. And we're moving our businesses forward every day, learning from our mistakes, and I think I am the absolute master at that. Membership to our network is completely free, so you can join Raw Business, you can network and promote yourself, you get a profile. It's like a business version of Facebook, if you like. We are chasing a dream, just like you. We're trying to become successful, and as you all know, it requires many, many skills to be successful. And some of us have got a number of skills, some of us have got a larger number of skills. I've got a number of skills, but I also recognise and understand that there are lots of skills that I don't have. There's lots of skills that I'm missing, because if I did have all the skills, I'd be a millionaire and I'd probably be sitting on the beach broadcasting this webcast rather than being in Chelsea right now. So it's quite appropriate today that we're talking about a business that can help you with overcome some of the challenges and adversities you face, making those into successful situations. Well, the people behind is Laurence Milton, the co-founder and CEO, proven serial entrepreneur, former accountant and a business mentor, lovely fella, and Dr. Kev Roberts, who's the co-founder as well, and technical director. Kev is an experienced business owner, professional manager, and a business coach as well. So a fantastic mix between a business mentor and a business coach. And as you guys understand and know, there is a huge difference between a mentor and a coach. So today we're going to be talking about your entrepreneurial journey, And if you're anything like me, you've gone through lots of emotional experiences when starting your business. And actually, some of you know that I'm writing my book at the moment, and I've got a few chapters underway. And one of the chapters that I've been writing about is the decisions we have to make on a day-to-day basis, and what helps us make those decisions, and what information we use to make those decisions. Of course, when you make a decision, there's two outcomes to a decision. It's either something results in a really, really positive outcome, or it can result in a negative outcome. Being an entrepreneur is about living with the decisions that you make. But being an entrepreneur is also about being able to resource the information that you need in order to make the best commercial decision you can do at any given time. And both Laurence and Kev are providing services to help businesses do just that. At Raw Business, we act as a conduit for aspiring entrepreneurs and existing entrepreneurs, as well as experienced entrepreneurs, to find the resources they need. This is a great company. It's a great opportunity. I'm going to let the guys talk to you more about that now. And as you know, it's a very down-to-earth webcast. We're everyday people. We're not a professional TV channel. We're an opportunity channel that gives you help, support and advice. So here we go. It's our great pleasure to be joined with Vert for this Raw Business TV webcast on your entrepreneurial journey. Raw Business has such a great mix of people, and we thank you all for your continued support. Welcome to Raw TV, and I'm going to pass across now to Laurence and to Kev for them to start their PowerPoint presentation. I'm just going to move the mouse across, so I'm a left-hander and Kev is a right-hander. What we're going to do is Kev and Laurence are going to run through the presentation. I'll jump back in at the end, and as usual, if any questions or requirements you guys have got, you can email us directly while we're on air. Alternatively, we'll provide you email and contact addresses at the end of the podcast. Enjoy the show. I'm going to pass over now to Laurence and Kev.
Thanks for that, Bradley. Just while we get ourselves settled and sorted here.
Hi guys, we're a bit too big to go.
It's all very cozy.
If one of us disappears off the edge, you'll understand why.
So just so you know who's who, I'm Kev Roberts. I've got the business coaching background. This is Laurence, who's got the mentoring background. So we're going to cover a whole bunch of stuff in this presentation today. I mean, I've watched a lot of the Raw TV presentations, and there's a whole range of topics covered. What we thought we'd go for here is sort of more of a context presentation, to give you a bit more of a description about the world we're operating in. Because we're all chasing this dream, as Bradley says, But we don't do that in isolation. We're not part of a vacuum. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So we're going to run through a whole range of things here, look at that wider picture, talk about what a great time opportunity we're in at the moment, talk about the journey we're all going through, and some of the barriers that you might have run into and things that could be holding you back. Hopefully show you a way to get through all. So that's what we're going to cover, and we're going to dive straight in now. As we say, we're going to start with that background. So if we look at the wider evolution, a bit of a historic perspective now. You know, it wasn't that long ago, sort of pre-industrial age, about 200 years ago, where everyone was a business owner. Most people were tradespeople, butchers, bakers, candlestick makers, that kind of thing. We were all working for ourselves, and it was all based on trust. Who do you know, usually within a local area? Then the world changed, and we had the Industrial Revolution. And at that point, the concept of jobs and stuff came in. So everyone kind of moved into big business. We were all employees. We were working for other people. So people kind of came into this mindset of having a job. And for a lot of us, that's where we've experienced. We've all had jobs at some point. And interestingly, our education system is still set up for this. We're trained to be employees. It's a lot of skills that you don't get taught at school that you need to run your own business. I know, Laurence, you've got to pick up a lot of skills along the way in your experience.
Yeah, I'm a bit lucky. I sort of trained as an accountant, so a lot of those skills are taught to me. But actually, it's no skill for actually running a business, which is a very complicated thing. No matter how much people tell you it's an easy thing to do, it becomes very complicated, as you're going to cover now. The various complications, but it is complicated. It is a series of skills that you need to have, and you need to learn those skills. And unfortunately, sometimes it gets very expensive learning those skills. You learn from your mistakes, but it's the only way.
Yeah, really. Because it's an interesting time we're in at the moment. That, you know, as I said, the education system is set up for us to be in jobs, to be in the employee world. But what's happening at the moment, through a variety of circumstances, more and more people are leaving jobs and setting up their own business. For some of us, you know, it's because we're chasing this dream. We've always had this vision of owning our own business. We decided not to do it. For some of us, that decision was made by somebody else. If you've been made redundant or whatever, then you're kind of forced down a different route. But more and more people are taking the step now and setting up your own business. You're on this entrepreneurial journey. And again, this is a radical change when you look at it day to day. But if you take that wider perspective, it wasn't that long ago when self-employment, having your own business, was the norm. But our education system and the skills that we pick up along the way hasn't caught up with that yet, and that's what we're talking about today. It's an interesting time. It's all changing at the moment, I think. So now we've got that kind of context, let's have a look at why this is a good time to be making that jump, and why you need to arm yourself to take the most possible advantage of the opportunities that's out there at the moment. Because again, a lot of things are still set up to support the big boys, the big businesses. You know, around where I'm from, the big employers used to be people like Marconi, GC, Peugeot, and they've all gone now. They've left the area. And that's when a whole lot of people are looking for their own jobs. You know, they're setting their own business, they're looking for opportunities. And I do believe this is a time of opportunity because these big businesses haven't caught up yet. If you think of the market out there as a pie, a bit of cake, I like cake, so we use that as an analogy, then all the businesses are set up to protect the market. They're worried about other big businesses coming and taking a slice of their cake. And their whole marketing is based on that premise. And somebody else, another GC, another Marconi, another big business is going to come along and take it. And what these guys haven't caught up yet is that there's another threat, and that's us. That's the small business owners. Because they're all so busy looking for somebody to take a big slice. What they're missing is us, the little ones, coming along and nibbling. And there's all these opportunities. It's back to that network of trust. If you can establish yourself in the market, you do something really well, people know you, they trust you, there is plenty of opportunity out there. You got something to say?
No, I think that's right. I think that actually graphic actually says it all. It is a whole series of clients, and the big businesses don't actually appreciate that smaller businesses are the future of this country. I think they're probably beginning to appreciate it now. But small businesses move forward on the back of big business, on the back of all the mistakes they make, when they're turning their back on the whole thing and just not keeping their eye on.
Absolutely. And as we said, we feel this is a real time of opportunity. If you can seize this opportunity, get the skills you need, now is the time to do it because your competition hasn't woken up yet. The big businesses are still protecting themselves from other big businesses. So it's a great time if you can mobilise the skills and resources you need to take advantage. So once you've made this step, once you've got your own business and you're out there and you're chasing that dream and you're doing it, then let's look at the kind of phases you go through. Well, the first phase, for everyone out there who's already got their own business, will remember this. This is when you set off, and it's a brave step. You know, whether that decision is something you've made yourself or it's something that's been forced on you. But that beginning, and every business has a beginning, is a really exciting time. At this point, you don't know whether it's working, you're not sure what's going on, but you set off, and that's the most important step in every journey.
This is the time you actually think the sky's the limit. Nothing's going to stop you. Yeah. You're really, really excited, and you're just going to be huge in 2 years' time. You're going to have thousands of clients and loads of money in the bank and freedom and everything else.
Yeah. So it's a really great time. You're bouncing off the walls. When you first set off, you've got all that enthusiasm. You're charging around. I still remember the first check I ever got that I'd won for business. I think I've got a photocopy of it.
Still got a frame.
Absolutely, yeah, it's on the wall because it's brilliant. You think, right, we're away. We're going to conquer the world, and you can go a long way on that enthusiasm because at that point you've got the energy, you've got the enthusiasm to make up for the skills you haven't got. You're just charging around, and that enthusiasm is infectious. People will buy from you just on the basis of that enthusiasm. And you keep going, and it's exciting. But the problem is that every business at some point runs into this thing, the wall, the infamous wall. And this is nothing to be ashamed of, we should say that now. Every business runs into this. And we sort of define the wall as this is the time when you realise it's not going to be as easy as you thought it was going to be.
As Bradley alluded to before, and as I sort of spoke very briefly about, this is where your skill sets need to be honed. This is where all of you will have some sort of skill in one of those 5 disciplines, or one of those 5 problems that are called there, but you won't have the skill set in all of them. It's only when you get some sort of skill set in each of those things that you can actually break through that wall.
Because just to be clear, the problems people usually find, how do you know when you hit the wall, is that you usually, you run into problems with people, maybe you're struggling to recruit the right people, you're struggling to keep the people you've got, or you feel like you're spending all of your time nannying the people you've got. You're working for them, essentially. You employ them, you pay them, you're working for them, you're running around. So people can be, the biggest asset in your business, but they can also be the biggest drain on your resources. So that's one area. If you're running into those kind of troubles, then it'll bog you down. Another area we come across is the whole area of customers. Every business needs customers. If you haven't got customers, you haven't got a business. And they get to the point where you need more customers. How do you get more customers to your business? How do you attract more profitable prospects? So, that's a key area, the whole sales and marketing. Every business needs to get that. If you're not in sales, you're not in business. You need to get that working. Another common area where people run into challenges is time. A lot of us started a business with a dream. This was going to give us the freedom. We were going to be able to provide for our family. We have the time to do the things we want. We weren't working for someone else. We didn't need to be in an office at this time. A bit of flexibility. And then your business takes off, and you get busy, and you find you're working longer hours than you ever did before, probably for less money. It's taken over your weekend. You're seeing less of the family and friends that you promised you'd do it. That's a huge thing. You get to the stage where you start resenting your own business. If you don't control the time side, that's massive. Another one which most of us are familiar with in some way is cash. Cash is the lifeblood of every business. And again, when you set off, you're excited, you're winning orders, perhaps you're more excited about revenue than profit. Perhaps you're not chasing up payment of bills as often as you could do. I mean, your accountancy background, you've got all sorts of stories about this.
Yeah.
But cash is vital to every business. You need to get that, and that underpins a lot of it. So those are 4 of the kind of upfront problem areas that people run into. But there's one other one as well, which we think is really important, but a lot less people are talking about it. And this is this sense of isolation. Sometimes when you're running a business, it's that feeling of loneliness, of not knowing who to talk to. Feeling like you're the only person who's facing these problems. That can grind you down. But you're not the only person. Everyone's running into it. It's just a question of whether people are upfront and open about it.
It's actually the single biggest reason why people go to networking meetings.
Absolutely, yeah.
So everyone says they go to networking meetings to actually find new customers. But there's only so many new customers because you're seeing the same sort of people.
Yeah.
The biggest single reason people go is because they feel lonely. And they need to know there are other people out there who are suffering from the same problems, and therefore they feel better for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, Kev's just covered. You need personnel skills, you need sales and marketing skills, you need time management skills, you need financial skills, and you need to be able to get over this motivational skills. You've got self-motivational skills.
Yeah.
So that's it.
And when you're doing it on your own, you can tell me feel quite passionate about it, and that's why we keep putting in. When you're doing that on your own, it's hard. I mean, I came out of the corporate world. I had a job in the corporate world, so I felt I knew what I was doing. I was a trained manager. But then when I left and set up my own first business, I was suddenly missing this structure, this framework, and I found out that I didn't know everything, and I was doing it on my own. And that was a really hard step, a really hard transition for myself. Because I thought I knew about managing people. I used to lead teams of 120 people, or whatever. I was used to getting customers. My time, to be honest, I thought I was managing, but I wasn't. It was set by the company policy. Cash, I was responsible for P&L of a large business unit, but that's very different from cash. And I was, big I am in corporate world. But then I came out and I made that transition. And that feeling of isolation, having to learn all the things that I thought I knew, or things I didn't even know I didn't know, was a big step to make. So I was out there looking at business networking, trying to find kindred spirits, people who would admit to having the same problems, trying to learn from my peers. That's how most of us learn, from our own mistakes and from our peers, because we don't know another way of getting forward. We're going to talk a bit more about that. But this wall is something that every business owner runs into at some point. It can be 3 months in, it can be 3 years in, it can be 30 years in. It depends. Different businesses go through different stages. But there will come a time, if you haven't met it yet, prepare yourself. If you have met it, you're not alone, where you just run out of steam, where you're trying to get ahead and you're trying to do more of the same and you find that's not enough. It's like, when you see a fly buzzing against the window, it's just banging its head trying to get through. It just keeps bashing away. And it doesn't matter how hard you try, that's not going to get you through. Sometimes you need to take a step back, fly in a different route, go through the open window that's next door. In what we're talking about here, that open window is when you learn the key skills. There are some things that you need to know to break through this wall to unlock the potential. Because when you get through the wall, then the world is a different place. Then it all opens up. And this is a great picture. I know you love this picture.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's a rocky road, but the light at the end of the tunnel is a fantastic picture. It actually says everything when you really look at it. There's loads of obstacles, a real rocky road. You can break your ankle, you can fall over, you can break your leg, but eventually there's that target, which is the sun shining at the end of that road. And great, actually says everything.
Because once you're through the wall, you've taken some knocks, but you've learned some lessons. Now you can see a way ahead. There's still obstacles, as Laurence says. You can see where you're going. And that's a big benefit as well already. If you know where you're going, if you've got the goal in mind, and you've got the motivation to keep going. So that's what we're all about. We think every business owner needs to be able to see what's on the other side of that wall. You need some skills to help you get through the wall. It's not a lot, just a few little things can help you tweak what you're already doing. It might not be a massive change to your business, but without that, you're just going to keep banging your head against that wall, and that's a horrible place to be. Number one source of failure in businesses is burnout in a business owner. When you're just stuck there banging your head and you can't see how to get through it, there's only so long you can keep that up. There's only so long you can go through those motions. When you get to the stage where you've had enough, that's when the business fails. It'll fail for a different reason. It'll fail for cash flow. It'll fail because your market dries up or whatever. But the real reason is you've burnt out. You're fed up with trying to get over the wall. So, obviously, this is important. You need to know how to get through the wall. So what does it take to break through? Well, as we said before, there are a few key skills. Here's a short list of things that you need to know about in running your business. And it doesn't matter where you come from, whether you've worked for somebody else. Again, that's why a lot of people set up businesses. They work for somebody and they think, I can do this, why am I working for him? I can see how much they're billing for my time or my work. I could have all of that money. I'm going to do it myself. You can set your own business. Or you work for somebody else and you get made redundant. You think, it's not that hard, I'm going to do it. Or you come from a corporate background, you think you know what you're doing. You find out you don't know everything. You need to be able to have this range of skills, because in a small business, it's often down to you. You can hire people to help you with different functions, but you need to manage them. So you need to have enough of an understanding of what they're doing, what they should be doing, to set them targets, to be able to measure their progress, whether they work for you or whether you're subcontracting. If you're hiring people, you're spending money. You need to be able to know what they're doing and how you can manage them to get the results. So these are key skills. They don't teach you this at school. They quite often don't teach you on-the-job training. But you need to know these things to move ahead with your own business.
Most of those skills actually, it's very difficult to teach someone, to be honest. Most of those skills have to be learned the hard way, I would say.
Yeah.
You can get the basics of all those skills, but actually most of them have to be learned the hard way.
Yeah, and every business owner you talk to will say that they've learned these, and most of them learn by making mistakes. That's how we've made a lot of progress.
Every successful business.
Yeah. Some people just say, no, I know everything, but
that's right.
Yeah, the people who are big enough to admit that they've made mistakes along the way, they've usually learned all these skills by making their own mistakes. And that's how most businesses do it. And to be honest, that's an expensive way of getting an education. There are easier ways of doing it. You'll spend an awful lot of money, you'll spend an awful lot of time, you'll spend an awful lot of emotional wear and tear making mistakes to learn these lessons. So we don't want to do that. We're all looking for a shortcut. As Bradley says, we're chasing a dream. So where can we get shortcuts to acquire these skills to take us to the dream? Well, we think there are sort of three main ways you can get these skills. The first one, which is becoming easier and easier in one way, the advent of modern technology, is the internet's out there, Wikipedia and everything is out there. Anything you want to know is probably on the web somewhere. So you can, if you know you've got a problem in an area, say sales and marketing, you can sit down, type it into Google, and guess what? You get 9 million different answers come back. And how long are you going to spend reading them? How do you know which ones are the good ones, which ones are the bad ones? Because there's no editorial control on the web. Anyone can put anything up there. How do you know which are the ones you should trust? Because there's information out there, but what's the good information? So you can get stuff for free, and it's worth every penny, because there's no quality control. And the other big thing is this idea of not knowing what you don't know. Yeah? How do you know to search for something if you don't know that you're missing your skills? It's like the fly, if you're banging your head against the wall, you don't know that there's another window over there, so how are you going to search for it? So you can get help on a free basis, and that's better than nothing, but it will actually take up a lot of time. Another approach that some people go down is that you can make the investment to get somebody to help you. You can get a dedicated coach, you can get a dedicated mentor working in your business. And we think that this is the best way for you to acquire these skills. This is somebody who will sit down with you, take a personal view of you and your business. They'll show you the way, it'll be tailored to you, it'll be specific. You're going to make much faster progress. You're going to get further faster. It's the best way to get an education. The problem with this is, these people are expensive. They bring tremendous value to your business. Working with a coach will make your business more profitable. That's the bottom line. And coaches know this. So, I was a coach, I know this well. So you charge what value based on the value you bring. If you're going to help somebody, double the profitability in their business, you can charge good money for it. Great if you're in a business that is in a position to make that investment. But what we found on our background was talking to a lot of business owners. They kind of knew they needed some help. They kind of knew there were coaches and mentors out there, but they weren't in a position to make that investment. So, 99% of businesses out there know they need some help. They're not in a position to invest in a coach. So that's where we felt that people needed an alternative.
I think actually just to say something on that, it's actually the businesses that we felt also, 99% of the businesses that we met that we felt needed our help, couldn't afford us. I think not just they thought they needed, everyone thinks they need help at the end of the day, but we felt they could use our help, but actually they couldn't afford us, and that was a problem.
It was.
Which is why we can't convert.
Yeah. So, as Laurence says, we feel there is a need for another way for people to get support. Based on all the stuff we covered before, we think the future, the economy and everything is based around the small business, the entrepreneurs, people like yourself who are out there doing it, chasing the dream and making stuff happen. We are the future of the economy. Look what else is going on. We've got to save it. And to do that, we need a way of getting this support. Not everyone is in a position to make that investment. Those of you that are, great, go for it, do it. And those of us that aren't in a position, we needed a way of providing affordable access to quality support. Because, you're bouncing between those two limits. You've got the free stuff, but where's that going to take you? The expensive stuff that's good quality that you can't reach it. So there needs to be another way that you can find help that will get you started on that journey. Because if you're in that position, banging your head against the wall, the world's bearing down on you, you're facing all these problems and it's just grinding you down. You need a way of moving forward, getting started on the journey. Break through the wall, and you've got so many more options. The world is such a better place at that point. So we put together our business, Vert, which takes advantage of the sort of modern internet technology and makes this information available. It's not as good as the personal coach, business coach, but it's better than nothing. It'll get you started, and it's able to be delivered a lot more affordable. So we think that is an important thing to be able to offer business owners.
Yeah, we've trawled the net for you. We've picked out what we consider to be the best articles in the various subject matters that you could possibly want. And therefore you'll go on site and you'll find a whole library of resource available to you, as well. I'm not sure if we're going to cover this now, but as well as a structured program delivered by video to help you through those problems that you have and to help you break through that wall.
So we think it's a useful offering that business owners need that support. If you're interested, take a look. But what we've gone through today is a kind of context. We're all chasing the streams. Going back to the phrase that the kids using, we're all chasing it. We're not doing it in isolation. There are other people out there facing the same challenges as you. You've already learned from Raw Business and Raw TV. A lot of people facing the same challenges. There are ways and means for you to get help that fit in with your business, your current constraints, where you are today. You've got to get through the wall, because if you're stuck there, you will burn out. And that's kind of what we want to say today. Yeah,
I think so.
So at that point, we're going to bring Bradley back in. Give us his final thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm just going to join between the two guys.
Get really cosy now.
Yeah. Okay. This is the first time we've managed to get three people on the screen. But thank you very much indeed, guys, for a fantastic webcast. I just want to go back over a couple of points. The most important and emotional one that touches me is the wall. Because everything prior to the wall and everything after the wall seems easier in context, because you've got a dream, you're filled with energy, you're filled with motivation, you're just compelled to act on this dream, and you've got such a high energy level sort of pre-wall, because you're building, and everything seems to be possible, and even challenges that you face just seem like this everyday shopping cart stuff. The wall is a major thing. Post-wall is when you move into the comfort zone, or well, it's not a comfort zone, but it's a new era in your business age, in your business growth, where you've got a product, it's established client base, you're making and returning good profits, and you're starting to reap the rewards of the efforts that you've had pre-wall.
Yeah.
Now, the wall for me is really pertinent, and it's very important, and it touches me more than anything else. And the reason for that is this: I've been at that wall so many bloody times. I've been at that wall so many times, and I've learned each time I come to the wall to open up more and to speak to people more. You know, I'm 40 years of age, and I'm still learning to try and get this right. But the wall to me is important. So there was a couple of questions I wanted to ask the guys. People, when they get to the wall, and talk from my experience, it's a very difficult thing to admit. It's a very difficult thing to accept that as an entrepreneur, a business owner, you've got your business to a certain stage, and damn, you're stuck. You don't know what to do. When you're at that wall, it's the most horrific, painful, mind-numbing, position that you can be in. So, how do we tell when someone's at that wall? How do we get to someone when they're at that point? And how do we get that person to feel comfortable to say, I'm at the wall, help me?
Yeah.
How do we do that? Because people, especially British people, we're very reserved, we're reluctant to talk about our emotions. I mean, me, I don't mind, I talk about it. So how do we do? How do we get people to be aware? Because when you hit the wall, you become like a bang, it's like a shock. So how do we...
Yeah, a lot of people just go into themselves.
Yeah, we like a crustacean or a tortoise. The head goes in, the feet go in, and you go into the shell. How do we recognise when someone's at the wall? And how do we help people when they're at the wall to say, guys, reach out, help me. What do I do at this point? I need some higher advice here. What do we do?
I think we recognise instantly if someone's at the wall just by talking to them. If they do let loose a little bit, say this, I've got this problem, I've got that problem, you can almost, we've got a lot of experience between us, and I think you can almost instantly recognise they're at the wall. What people out there, I think the better question, or the better part of that question, is how do they recognise when they're at the wall, and what do they have to do to actually help? And what they have to do is, as we said, either get help. Because if you don't get help, you're never going to do it, or it's going to cost you a fortune. Yeah, or you just have to make loads and loads of mistakes, and we've all done it. We've all made the mistakes. And what we're trying to do here is try to help people, save people money, not to make those mistakes, and to help them go through. And you're absolutely right. Very, very excited, getting business out, getting another customer, and suddenly you look around and you think, oh my God, I've got 3-4 people working for me. I've got to pay this. I've maybe got to pay for a car for my salesman. I've got to pay, I've got this HR problem I've now got because I can't even say boo to them because otherwise, I'm under some tribunal.
Yeah.
I need help, I've got no cash in the bank. I have loads of cash, but suddenly I don't understand. I've got all these customers, I've got no cash in the bank. And do you know how many people we talk to who, the first thing, sometimes I'm looking at companies, first thing I do is I look at their thing, I say to them, well, let's have a look at your accounts. They show me their account. Who do you get that from? My accountant. Does he give you anything else? Well, yeah, it gives me this. And what's that? That's an age debtors report. What do you do with that? Oh, I just file it. I know those. And you look down the columns, 120 days. So they've got no skills in terms of debt collection, or as you say, they're too reserved to actually say to people, listen, mate, you owe me money. I'm not going to do anything more for you. And a number of businesses out there that actually will carry on supplying in case they lose this big customer.
Afraid of losing.
But the big customer owes them an absolute fortune, so they're not a good customer at all. So what's the point? So we've all come across it, and I think there's a whole load of issues there. But they'll know when they hit the walls, when they're pulling their hair out, when their wives are screaming at them, because they're not spending enough time with the kids. When they've got no time for anybody, and they can't think of anything, can't sleep at night, they can't think of anything else other than cash in the bank. Or oh my God, how am I going to solve that problem tomorrow? That's when they've hit the wall. That's when they don't know because they're at the limit, the old Peter principle. Everyone rises to their level of incompetence, and we're all incompetent in one way or another because there's always something we don't know. So you'll rise to that level, and you can't go any further. And I think that's when you recognise.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. And any other thoughts on that yourself, Kev, on the wall theory?
Well, it's just. You don't want to wait till that stage where when it's all bearing down on you so much, So what I would say is every business owner can do better. Your business doesn't have to be bad to get better. So just people, I think people should be reaching out to get all the assistance they can. As you say, it's a kind of British thing that we're like, no, I'm going to be self-sufficient, I'm going to do it myself. You don't have to do it that way. It's a choice people make. We don't do that in personal lives. We don't grow all our own food. We don't do all our own cooking and baking. We're quite happy to outsource that. We go to the supermarket and say, give me stuff that's already prepared. But in business, people seem to feel this compulsion that they have to do it all themselves. They don't want to show weakness. They've got to be, king of the world or whatever. You don't have to do that. Help is available. If you're embarrassed about it, it's discreet. Look at something on the web. No one knows what you look at on a computer, allegedly. Help is out there in many shapes and forms. Some people aren't comfortable at a business networking event saying, I'm struggling. But everyone is. Just get help. It doesn't have to be hard. There are ways and means you can take shortcuts.
Absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to give you guys an analogy before we close off today. And this is an imaginary one, so please God, this doesn't happen. But let's say you're on a plane and the plane takes off and you're in the air and you're going to the most fantastic holiday you've ever had with your family. And sit next to you are all the people in the world that you love, your husbands, wives, children, whatever the case may be. These are the people that you absolutely love the most. God forbid, touch wood. The plane's going along, lightning bolt, bang, strikes the engine of the plane. The engine's on fire. The plane's going down, God forbid. The captain says, brace, emergency positions, prepare for crash landing. The plane's shaking all over the place and everyone's panicking and the oxygen masks start to come down. It's just sheer panic and we're going to die! Everyone's worried. This is a terrible scenario, God forbid. The oxygen masks come down. What do? You've got your daughter, your children, your mother, your wife sitting next to you. Who do you put the oxygen mask on first? Who's going to get the mask? What are you going to do? The oxygen masks are coming down. Which person's going to get the mask first? Who are you going to give the oxygen to? And imagine yourself in that panic and in that zone. And what are you going to do? Who's going to get the mask first? Well, just think about that for a second. Because if you're thinking that you're going to put the mask on your daughter, on your mother, or on your father, or on your husband or your wife, there we go. Unless you put the mask on you first of all, you cannot save anybody. So I think my summary about the war, and it's a very pertinent point, is to make sure you help yourself first in order to help others. And you're helping others with your business by providing a product, a service, whatever the case may be.
Right, not so just that. You're providing their income. You've got a whole people working for you.
Responsibility.
It's a responsibility.
Great responsibility. So when the war comes, enjoy it. Why not? We're all going to get it at some stage. But apart from that, Vert's service line, and they're offering some fantastic downloads on the site, a very good value website to use to help you move your business forward. And again, as the guys are saying, a very cost-effective solution. So final thoughts, absolutely. Help yourself to help others. Enjoy your businesses. Have fun. Thank you very much indeed for the guys joining us today. Kev or Laurence, if you guys just want to read out your contact details, please, so we know how to contact you.
Okay. Well, the best place to go is to have a look at the website. There's all sorts of stuff on there, some free resources you can take advantage of. Have a look at some of the things we offer. If you think it's useful, look at the rest of it. Sign up, become a member. And the web address for that is www.vertbusiness.com. So hopefully everything you need there is on the website. If you want to talk anything through, then our phone number is there. Give us a call on 0845 6868 378. Or if you've got any questions based on what we've covered today or anything else you want to talk through, then drop us an email. There are personal individual emails. We do feel passionately about this. We want people to be able to get the help they need. So we're putting ourselves out. If you've got any questions, let us know.
Absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much indeed, guys, for joining us today on Raw Business TV. First
Thanks
time we've had 3 on the screen, and it's worked really well.
Very good.
We've got to dream with Raw Business TV that one day we're going to have this really professional TV studio. In the meantime, this is Raw TV in a raw and open honest state. We're just going to click forward next slide there, and we're just going to say thanks once again. Slides. There we go. Who we got next time on Raw TV? Joe Swan from Chocolate PR. How to get in the press for free. Absolutely valuable information there. Joe Swan, what an awesome lady. Number one, she's a really beautiful woman. I'm sure she's right by me saying that. And she's also a very clever and very motivated individual. She sent me down a chocolate cigar for Christmas, which is really kind of cool. I thought it was actually like a cigar filled with cocoa, and I opened it out. It was chocolate, but it just got battered on the way down to the post. So thanks for that, Joe. Fantastic lady. And also, what a brilliant name for PR company, Chocolate PR. What a great present to arrive at Christmas time. That's tomorrow from 6 p.m. We're just going to click on another slide now. And all that leaves us to say is thank you very much indeed. Again, my book is in progress. I wrote another chapter at the weekend, which is really cool. It's getting really serious now. Everyday people achieve extraordinary things. Thank you very much indeed for myself, Bradley Chapman, and thank you from Laurence.
Thank you. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for listening.
And thanks from Kev.
Thank you all.
And we'll look forward forward to seeing you next time on Raw TV. Thank you very much indeed, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.